Hi Leo, welcome to your What They Can't Get Over reading for February 2020. Everything you need to know about this reading is in the description box below, as well as the recommend a reader shout out, which goes to Love and Abundance Tarot. Love and support to him. Check him out. Show him some love and support. Full disclosure, this is the third intro I filmed for this because the first one, the 5 of coins jumped, and then the 6 of coins jumped. And then the second intro, and then a bunch of cards spilled. The second intro, the chariot jumped, and then a bunch of cards spilled. So this is the third one. So yeah, 5 of coins or pentacles, 6 of pentacles, and then the chariot. Yay. So perhaps there was kind of a disconnect, or even things where might have been financially unstable, and now you're up and running and on your way. So yay for that. Anyway, this is intended to be a romantic love reading, but it may resonate in other areas of your life. All right, Leo, what do we got here? Leo, how you doing, Leo? What they can't get over for Leo. 4 of coins, all right. Okay. Chariot, Faith, or the Hierophant, the Sun. All right, so we're like, okay. Temperance, so we got 4 out of 5 major arcana. Okay. 10 of Swords, 9 of Cups. Let's do this. And 10 of Wands. Is that kind of crooked? It kind of is. Maybe like this. All right, let's just do it. Okay, little guys. Cancerian, Taurus, Leo, Cancer, Sagittarius, Scorpio. All right, so we got 2 10s and a 9 here. Oh, gracious. And 2 5s, right? Yeah. So we've got kind of taking a time out, like maybe both of you are in your separate corners really thinking on things, waiting for the other one, because there's been a change here. Okay. Perhaps this isn't so much about, perhaps things have come up to where it's like we need to question whether we can progress further because there's issues of stability or control, perhaps. All right, what's this Sun about? What's this Sun about? 4 of Cups. All right, what's this Temperance about? What's Temperance about? 4 of Swords. This is 10 of Swords. Ace of Swords. All right, what's his Chariot about? Because we're looking at somebody who just is, I mean, we got all these swords. We got, okay, passive stance. What's his Chariot about? 9 of Wands. So we could be dealing with somebody that thinks that, you know what, it was your way or the highway. What's this 9 of Cups about? Oopsie. This 9 of Cups. Oopsie. This is 9 of Cups. Leo. Page of Cups. So is this somebody that has kind of, okay, you know what? Here's the thing. I think this person is blaming you, but they really just, they're trying 2 different things here. They kind of want to blame you, but they still want to be able to do what they want to do. So I don't understand, like, what's this? Oh, okay. What's this 10 of Wands? What's this 10 of Wands? Judgment. That could be Cancer, Sagittarius, or Scorpio. What's this faith about? What's this faith about? All right, so the thing is that this is somebody that feels like there was an excessive amount of control in the relationship, and it was, for them, they feel like you, Leo, were putting unrealistic demands on them, or had an unrealistic standard for the way you wanted the relationship to be or to go, or what you wanted from them. They feel like you kind of were, I want to say, controlling and asked too much of them. But the thing is, it could very well be that it's because they were irresponsible and they just wanted to do what they wanted to do. And they feel like these demands are coming out of the blue or something. I mean, something's not jiving with me here. It very clearly looks like this is someone that kind of regrets, things, and they want to maybe understand what happened, but it feels like only to a certain point, because they don't want to have to rise up to a higher standard. They don't want to have to be accountable. So for the Leos that I'm reading for, this doesn't apply to, I'm not just calling it out across the board, but for the Leos that I'm reading for, the subtext is here: I don't want you to be so demanding of me because I still want to do my things. Now, whether you're taking a look at yourself going, okay, yeah, I might have been a bit of a taskmaster this past couple months or whatever, or I could change a few things. Or if you're like, no, it's pretty realistic that I should be able to expect this of my partner. Yeah, you do need to rise up. I'm not budging. Either way, it's this person kind of wants their cake and they want to eat it too. And it could be very well that you're tired of either waiting, because it doesn't look like you're budging. Like, you need them to rise up to this standard, and it doesn't look like you're budging. And it could very well be that you're like, you know what, waiting's over. I'm going to call it. I don't want to have to wait. And I'm not being unrealistic or unreasonable here. So then it becomes a question, is this person waiting you out? Are they trying to wait until you breach or you make contact or whatnot? Because we got waiting here. We got waiting, trying to understand, wanting things to be illuminated and whatnot. But this is someone that would rather have things end and be able to continue doing what they want when they want and have their little dalliance than fly straight and narrow. You know what I mean? Like, then kind of be that consistent, stable path forward. They don't want the restrictiveness of that. And I think they're wanting you to question your demands or question yourself rather than point the finger at them or to attribute the problems to them. And the thing is I don't think it's unrealistic that you do that, because what they want to be able to do with no accountability affects the stability of the relationship. That is either, some bad habit, spending an excess amount of money. So you drew the line because you had to, but they see it as excessive and unrealistic demands. And this is someone that feels like, well, you're just, that's not us. You're doing that because that's like the way society wants us to be, but that's not what you and I have. Or they're trying to undermine your argument. They're trying to get you to reconsider your position because it's about preserving what they want to do. So in a sense, there's that gaslighting. It's like they're trying to say that what's, is really isn't is. It's finding fault with your argument or your position because they don't want to have to adjust what they're doing. For the Leos that I'm reading for, this might be like tough to hear for cross watchers, because it's basically saying you're being unreasonable and you're just being selfish to the cross watchers. But that's only if this dynamic applies, right? But for the Leos that I'm reading for, this is somebody that is kind of pointing the finger at you, and it feels like they're trying to wait you out, because they don't want to have to make the changes that a successful relationship with longevity would demand. And it's easier to make it seem like you're being unrealistic and demanding. And, you need to look at why you need that from me. Because it's realistic. I need to know that I have somebody that can contribute what they say they'll contribute, whether it's time, resources, service, whatever that you agreed to, so that we can basically rely on each other and trust and build a future and whatever. And if it's not building a future, it's whatever they're doing is affecting the stability and the trust and the reliability of this relationship. This is someone that you can't really, it feels like you aren't able to trust them because they always kind of wiggle out with something with an excuse. And instead of them looking at themselves and having that sort of realization about themselves, or like, oh my gosh, I always do this. Holy cow, that's not very, conducive to having a healthy relationship. I'm one of those people that doesn't like to be accountable. Oh my gosh. Instead of doing that, it's like they're kind of pointing the finger at you and saying, you need to look at why you're so demanding of me and what you're not fulfilled in with yourself. Like they're trying to gaslight and turn it around. And no, don't just, nah. So it would kind of stand to reason why you're like, no, this is not my first rodeo. Don't try that with me. It's not going to work. And how insulting if that really is. Like, you'd rather, I'm not being unreasonable, but you'd rather make me think so rather than give up your little habit or sort of take a look at what you're doing that's destructive for us. You'd rather gaslight me than to correct an issue or work on it with me. How insulting, That was for Leo. 6 of Swords. Okay. So that's, it could be that when everything dies down, when you two aren't emotional anymore, emotionally invested, but what's a relationship then? That you're able to work through this. But it feels like this is about moving on and leaving this behind, because this is someone that will, it's like they're good up until a certain point, and then they kind of do this thing that jeopardizes your connection. And you're not slowing down. But it bothers me that they're fine and companionable up until a certain point, and then something hits. Like something gets triggered or hits that all of a sudden they become this person that you're like, who am I even talking to right now? And they're just not reasonable. Reasonable keeps coming up. This is someone that acts erratically or irresponsible, and it feels like somebody that acts a certain way and plays a certain part, but then they need to have their me time. So they're good for you, but then they need to be able to have their alone time or their me time. And it's not just going out in the garage and whittling, or going out and shoe shopping or whatever. It's not one thing. It's like this, like they've been good all week, they get to kind of destroy themselves on the weekend, or they've been good all month, they get to go splurge, or they've been good, so I need to be able to have my hall pass or something. That's what this feels like. And that's not really a relationship then. That's just somebody playing a part. And yet it's come to you having to be the responsible one, and you being the one driving this bus, because they are always wanting to do the bare minimum so that they can go play. What else for Leo? Good. Strength. Please don't budge. For the Leos that I'm reading for, this is, at this point, it's baggage, if not luggage, because you don't need this person. It'd be nice if they could adult, but this is somebody that just isn't willing to look at themselves. And the minute they're asked to, like, you're shooting daggers at me, why are you being like that? You know what I mean? It's like, and how dare you question my propriety, or how dare you question who I am? If you think that, then you really don't know us at all. You really don't. Come on. We've been here before. This is not, don't gaslight me. Don't try that with me. It's someone that it just feels like they can't look at what you're asking them to look. That's not, whatever that is, it's non-negotiable. They will protect whatever the thing is that you're asking of them. And I don't know what it is, but it must be something pretty darn, That's for Leo. It's like they're more comfortable in the gray or in the sitting and thinking and holding vigil and hoping that you'll break or breach first, that you'll talk about it first, that you'll then, because they, at least they're still connected with no accountability in that gray area. You know what I mean? But if there's decisions made, like, you know what, this just isn't working, gotta move on, gotta go, then who are they gonna fight with that is gonna be a reason for them to escape? You know what I mean? Wow, I've had a long day, I need to go be able to do this because I've been so stressed out. Well, why does it have to be that thing? Why can't you change, you know, why does it have to be that behavior that relieves that stress? This is somebody, this could come down to coping mechanisms, that someone that's kind of very one note about things, or doesn't have a real way to deal when they get stressed, a real solid way of dealing with things. They just have this kind of go-to that's not working for them anymore, or is not very, what else for Leo? Okay, so we got Queen of Swords reversed, King of Swords reversed, and the High Priestess reversed. There it is. Okay, this could be Gemini, this could be Pisces or Cancerian. This is somebody that is tyrannical, could be very tyrannical. It's somebody that it's kind of, there's this essence of they don't know who they are or themselves or what makes them tick. The minute they come up to it, they kind of lash out and they just go on a spree. There's something about this uncontrolled spree, or this sort of uncontrollable behavior, not that it's not controlled, but it's behavior of wild abandon. There's something to needing to escape and needing to just and they might lie, this could be somebody that is, like I said, that's very, where to go, one way, they're very trustworthy, they're very, you know, you can count on this person, but then all of a sudden they get triggered or something happens and they need to be able to go have a weekend and do whatever, or, you know what I mean, for whatever reason. It's like, well, what happened? The sky is blue. Oh, okay, wow. We need to talk about how you are dealing with your life. Because there can't be a we unless you can kind of be better about being an adult, and yet, this is someone that feels like whatever demands are being placed on them are unrealistic from you. There's a lot going on for them in their mind. There's a lot being asked of them or going on. And it's easier to be by themselves and kind of do their own thing than to have to be in a relationship that simply asks too much of them, because the way they see it is a relationship should be a safe haven. They should be able to count on their partner, and that's true, but it feels like they might be asking too much of you and they don't realize it. They don't realize that what they're asking of you is simply stuff they could do for themselves were they to have better coping mechanisms in place, better outlets, better habits. For me, this is about you holding your ground and staying strong and not budging, because this is not yours to resolve or fix or to end. This is someone that kind of needs to come full circle with their own behaviors, this is not, it's almost like you can't even tell them any different. You can't point this out to them because they're ready. They're like ready and waiting to be able to deflect or to, you know. Okay, so please hold your ground. You're not done, but it could very well be that you decide, okay, waiting's over. Let me make this easy for both of us. I can't anymore. I can't. Or maybe it's not that I can't, but like, look, if we're going to, maybe there's an ultimatum coming, or there's look, this is what I need. Maybe there's that conversation coming where you do say, okay, no more waiting, no more kind of, because at this point with them, it feels like they're just waiting you out, because look, we got the 9 of Cups and we got the Page of Cups here. This is someone that's kind of fine with sitting and just thinking about things and wanting to understand, that passive review of things, which feels like they're waiting you out. So it could very well be that you also see it that way, or you realize that, or it feels something kicks into where you're like, let me just cut to the chase here. No more waiting. This is what's going on, and this is how I feel. You know, I hate the ultimatums. I hate the if this, then that, because I don't think it's that simple, but it really could come to that where you're just like, I need an end to the waiting, because it really does feel like this person will wait you out. So either it's you having the conversation and talking about, we're going to end things, we're going to go our separate ways, or you already are there and you decide, you know what, I'm not I am done with this. Like there's no trial separation. You're like, no, we're just done. It could also be too that you're still very much thinking about this person and seeing them in this light, that they're being unrealistic and unreasonable. It's not you, it's them that's being that way. And then instead of even talking to them, you just stay disconnected and you move on. You move forward and move on without even talking to them, because you're already in separation or you're already not talking. So it could very well be that you might have agreed to come back together and after a couple of weeks and see how, and you're just like, you know what, I'm just not going to make that call or send that text or meet them there. I'm just not. It's just better with us. Just saying. Okay, shutting up. Okay, Leo, I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you in the next reading, and love and support to you, and you take care. Okay.